we're going to go downstairs, meeting in the conference room and talking to some folks about rural issues. We're starting a rural caucus. This will be rural education issues, rural health issues, things like that, and saying, so how can we get members together in both the House and the Senate to work together to find some solutions to some of the things that plague the rural areas. So typically I come in, I'll have a couple of appropriation meetings, typically during the day. I have folks that have opinions about it that come into my office, many of those that are representing, in this case, in school aid. We've got early childhood folks here today. We had somebody from that was representing Pontiac schools. We had somebody representing police and prosecutors here with us today. So the various interest groups that might be there. And then we go over to the floor to vote as a full body on legislation that's made it through the committee process. Even then, during that time, we're called out into the lobby. That's where lobbyists hang out. And then the evening goes on, and it can get pretty late. This evening I've got 2 different meetings coming up this evening having to do with policy issues and constituent issues. And then the rest of the week, when I'm not here, and this is where it gets hard with typical, then I'm working the local district. And so I'm going to events or holding coffee hours or having town halls or going to other branches of government. I know Monday I'm scheduled for Tuscola County to meet with their commissioners. I had never done any political stuff before, really not involved in politics to any extent. And I was looking at what I wanted to do with my life, what kind of moves that I'd make career-wise. And I got to 3 or 4 meetings where folks were encouraging me to run for this office. Just separate groups, kind of out of the blue. Terry, we think you should run for this office. The 3rd meeting I was with my daughter, Teresa. She was a senior in high school. And we were in this meeting and they said, Terry, we really think you should run for this office. There was a group that was together that said, we'd really like to promote you as state, or, to be state representative. And I got out and I got in the car with my daughter in downtown Bad Axe. And I said, Teresa, well, what do you think about your old man running for office? And she laid it on me. And she said, well, Dad, you've said either you're part of the solution or you're just part of the problem. And all you do is complain about politics and politicians. Why don't you get out there and do something about it? And so I tell folks that I ran for public office because of bad parenting. Because if I was a better parent, maybe my daughter wouldn't have called me names like hypocrite. And essentially, it was true. I think we're all called to make a difference in the world, and that was one of the things that I felt strongly about. And so I've been honored and blessed all the way through this. Many of us think of politics as something disgusting and dirty, and it can be. But my belief, and our family, I think, believes that it should be better than that. And the only way it gets better is to have people involved. This job, it's not so close up and personal, but it becomes that sometimes. The stories typically aren't about somebody that I've had to work with day in and day out, but there's lots of stories like that on a broader scale that we'll get a call. Terry, thanks for doing this. You don't know how much this meant to our family. We didn't know where to turn for food, and you gave us an idea about that food pantry program or that service. Those things are really cool things to me that maybe if we weren't there, folks wouldn't have known how to do that. Those are great opportunities to have. They're not always as personal because they've done all the work. We do some showy things here, and we do some things that make some connections. But they've worked really hard back home to do that. And so it's not as personal, but it's still really cool to feel like I'm a part of that. You know, since I've been here, one of the things that I've appreciated more than ever is about where I come from. The Thumb area offers a unique lifestyle. We have the ability to do so many things. We have the lakes right there, swimming, boating, fishing. We have the opportunities to have good schools that a lot of places just don't have. and we look out after each other. And I've come, especially coming here to Lansing doing this job, I've taken all those things for granted for a long time. What is the most important things in life? And it comes down to, for a lot of us, the most important things aren't things. It's not how many snowmobiles or four-wheelers you have in your shed. It's not that second home. It may not even be your primary home for a lot of folks. It's us. And that's why I'm so proud of representing the area I am, because I think they understand what us is.